So there's this crazy new invention that came out around 2000 BC. It's called the sidewalk. Try it sometime. This rant is brought to you by all the idiots in my neighborhood that have refused to use sidewalks for some reason and opt for the road. You know, the road, the thing that cars drive on. Typically for vehicles that go 15 miles an hour and over. Not really built for your heavyset neighbor with diabetes that can barely walk a couple blocks. I don't know what the hell changed over the years, but sidewalks had a purpose. They had a reason to exist. It was to get to and fro without having to twist your ankle possibly by going over some rock, avoiding some bramble, climbing a hill where it's rough terrain. You just have a smooth surface, typically made out of concrete. They pour some cement, it dries, you walk on it, it's not that deep. But for some reason, people have now elected to just wander into the streets, gabbing with their friend, looking down at their phone, not really caring that vehicles going 30 miles an hour are flying down that thing. They're also on their phone, so there's a good possibility you're going to get pancaked. Now, I understand the sidewalk can be a dangerous game as well. It's the Wild West out here today. In my neighborhood, everyone's got a golf cart. But me, because I just prefer to, walk or bike or do something where I'm moving. There's already so much sitting around. It's nice to get some small amount of exercise in the day. But no, now we have these jackasses in their golf carts going everywhere. They got their flags, they got their music blasting. Oftentimes I see them driven by a 6-year-old child. That's smart. Nah, that's just good parenting. And so walking on the sidewalk can be a bit of a difficult challenge. You're oftentimes jumping out of the way of one of these idiots flying down the road. But then if the golf carts go on the road itself, that's also an annoyance. When you're in your car and you're following behind someone in one of these golf carts going 10 miles an hour. But we got to focus on the sidewalk because it's really detrimental that we figure this shit out as a society. A sidewalk's purpose is for slower moving people or devices. Say you're on a bike and you're not a professional biker or someone that goes cross-country biking. You have those thin, big tires and you lean really forward, almost like you're biting into your handlebar. That you're on the road too. You have your own dedicated bike lane typically, although I'm not a big fan of following behind bikers either, but again, we're gonna stay focused on the sidewalk today. Keep the sidewalk simple, keep it safe. I like to look at a sidewalk as a mini road for people. You have an invisible line down the middle for the right laners and the left laners. If you're on a bike with your kids, go on the right lane. Go off-road. If there's people coming towards you, just hop over into the grass a little bit. Or hopefully these people are paying attention. They can just single file next to you. You'll come into a gaggle of folks just having a ball, chatting it up, and they will all be next to each other. So they'll form this line, this human rope coming towards you. Sometimes these people have the wherewithal to single file, to lock together as one cohesive unit. But I've had plenty of times where I have to go out of my way, walk way out, take a really wide berth to get around these jackasses. We are living in a society. Can we at least just look at each other as equal players on Earth and just move our asses to the side? The sidewalk's not that small for the most part. And I get it, some aren't kept up that well. You have cracks in them. They lift up a little, so you might have to tippy-toe over a lift. But it still beats the alternative of walking in the middle of the fucking road, where you can, get ran over, get completely bodied by someone not paying attention. We also have crosswalks for a reason. These are spots, dedicated locations for people to walk across the street without a care in the world. They push a button. There's a sign. There's a signal that says they can go. There's even a countdown oftentimes, giving you just a little bit of excitement in your day. Holy shit, I only have 15 seconds to cross this whole thing? But people, being the rebels that they are, elect to avoid those as well. They'll just cross willy-nilly whenever they want, however they want. And they don't care if cars are driving by at a fast pace. They will stop traffic to a standstill so that their important self can cross over. I was driving down the road one time and there was a couple people walking in front of me. They would not get out of the way. They would not move. I was slowly creeping, going like 3 miles an hour. Well, I couldn't get around them. There was cars parked on that side. These jackasses were over here. And at one point they had the audacity to turn back at me and act like I was the problem. Like, hey, we're walking here. Go around. That's what the sidewalk's for. There's also the situation I find cropping up constantly where there's kids playing in the middle of the road. I understand if you live in a small neighborhood and there's a road that's not used very often, if it's a quiet street, sure, play some hockey out there. As long as your kids are respectful and can quickly move out of the way when a vehicle's coming, that's cool. That's fine. But if it's a busy neighborhood and you're constantly having to wait for these kids to get off the road, that's a no-win scenario. Just don't do it. Use the yard, or I don't know, go to a park, or I don't know, fuck off. It's not my problem, okay? It's a road. It's for vehicles. I'm currently living in South Carolina. It's already the Wild West if you get behind the wheel of a car. People are insane. They drive like they have no care in the world. Any day could be their last, so screw it. I'll take others down with me. There's drunk people everywhere. There's people on meth and shit. Cars weaving in and out. So the last obstacle I want to worry about is the family of 4 just having a nice little walk down Main Street. In the road. At this point, let's just make sidewalks roads too. We'll just have 2 big, tarred, ugly monstrosities next to each other. That way people that like to walk on the road have it. There you go, there's another one. But we know it wouldn't work. We know that these people would always go to the one made for cars because they're dumb and they don't care and they want what they can't have. And I really hope I'm talking to some like-minded people and you're not one of these folks I'm describing. If you are, hopefully it's a neighborhood like mine where there isn't a lot of traffic on some of these side streets. You're able to walk on the road on the side though, or you can quickly get out of the way if you see a car coming. You don't make them get up to you and wait for you to move. That's okay. I still don't get why you don't use the sidewalk, but it's okay. As long as you realize you are not the alpha predator here. As long as you realize you're not the lion in this situation, you are the gazelle. And you better hop your ass off the road before you get your ass run down. Alright, those are my thoughts on sidewalks and why they should be utilized more than they are. It's really not that difficult, people. This is really something we teach our children when they're old enough to get pushed around in a stroller. Let me know your thoughts though. Please like the video, subscribe, leave a rant down below in the comments if you got things to get off your chest. I would love to read it and I'd love to see you stick around. Alright, hopefully I see you next time. Unless you're walking in the middle of the road, then, well, you might not see this.